Alright, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to American Truck Simulator. So, lots of things going on in this episode here. First, want to start off with an announcement that we are going to be giving away another trailer. This time it's going to be Southern Skinning again, and we're going to be looking at his Trailstar, the framed end dump, and what you need to do to enter. We're going to go ahead and give it away on Sunday, on the Sunday video. Go ahead and just comment Trailstar. Right? Trailstar down in the comments, and you will be entered to win Southern Skinning's Trailstar framed end dump. So in the rest of the action here, we actually have a pretty packed episode here. We're going to take a look at a brand new trailer, new to the channel anyway. It's Brian Modmaker's Doepker B-Train drop deck. So we'll go through some of the build options on that. We also need to look at some of the updates for EMT Mods Peterbilt 359, and then we're going to take a drive with both that truck and trailer, and I'll show you a new transmission, because that's kind of what we do here. Unlike last episode, though, this one's solid. This one actually works. Whether or not it's realistic, and it's borderline experimental, but I have seen it done. I'll talk about it in a little bit. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into that drop deck Doepker from Brian Modmaker. Alright, so this is what she looks like. So you basically get a drop deck with a flat deck. So pretty cool. And you can run it in all kinds of configurations, as I'm going to show you just here in a second. Chain type, it is a B double. And now we're pretty much talking about whether we're talking about chrome or whether we're talking about paint. And there are two options. You can get it in aluminum, chrome, and paint, but we have options with under cables if you want. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Here is the aluminum. Here's the chrome. Here's the paint. Oh, and we got a Conestoga here. Conestoga style. And then we've got our regular paint. We're going to be messing with the paint here. And it's already, set up for the colors that I want. I think I just went with the graphite gray. But of course, you can make it anything you want. Obviously, if you have it here in the chrome, that's going to really make it pop a whole lot more if that is your deal. And there's going to be more options that we can do to make this paint or make this chrome as we go through the options. So let's take a look at the chassis options we have. And this is really just a general thing that I see a lot on Brian Modmaker stuff. He has a lot of good options and a lot of good quality, but you have to go through every one. Is it really that hard to give these unique names? Like, he even has the picture, and the picture looks identical. To go, especially when you have like 15 different options, as we're going to see in a second, some of them, it just doesn't make any sense to have the same name. And he also seems to default on the term chrome, which has nothing to do with chrome. It's just like one of the things that's there, and it's not even a chrome option. I don't quite understand it, but the organization of how everything's laid out so you know what it is, and you go, without having to click on all of the options, I'd like to see that cleaned up a little bit. It's pretty hard to get through, to be honest. So we're just going to be looking at the axles here. And we got a B-train. This other one, I think these are just under cables is the difference. Yeah, so we've got cables here. And then they go under for this option. Same thing here, it's going to be under. But check out the axles. The axles change, and you're actually going to get three different lift axles. 1, 2, and 3 with this. So these first two options are going to have the basic axles on that flatbed in the back. You're going to get your lift axles, and on this one you're going to get your under cables. So however you would like to build that for yourself. I usually think that the under cables make it look super messy, so I tend to leave them up here. It's a lot easier, a lot more accessible that way anyway. So if we look at the accessories, we see we have a ton. A lot of them are repeating for each trailer, and that's kind of how I approach it, is I'll have a look and I'll say, okay, I don't know what a Garfoss is, but I will make that edit once I go through all the options, because you do have to go through all of them. They're not labeled. And then I'll just do the same thing for Garfos 2 or whatever that is. So we've got FF support. So front support, these are all named front support. So we're going to go through them, and I hope you remember what they are because they're not labeled. So here's the first one. This one seems to be squared off. It's got chrome on it. So this one is angled. You got 45 degrees here, and it's painted. Looks like we got 45 with chrome. Squared off with aluminum, it looks like. Squared off with paint. This would probably be another 45 degree. Yeah, 45 degree aluminum. So you got squared off and aluminum, or squared off and 45 in aluminum, chrome, and paint. Easy labels. So we go to ASO 1, and what this is going to do is this is going to actually do the paint across all of this. So the first one, you get these stripes. The second one, you get the brown stripe in the middle. And the third one, you get 2 additional brown stripes, I believe. Yep, on the sides. So what I would do, so you don't have to click and remember it's the third one. ASO 1. Let's go to ASO 2, and we'll pick the third one. See, this says chrome. It has nothing to do with chrome. It has to do with the paint stripes on there. A little frustrating to get through, but I think you see where I'm going with this. Let's go to ACCH, and we'll see what the options are and what it does. We have it in paint right now. Let's check it out in chrome. Okay, so this is the whole basic frame here. So the frame can be in paint, it can be in chrome, or it can be in aluminum. So that's what we're talking about. We'll keep it the same and we'll go in chrome. Remember, this is ACCH, so let's go up to here so we remember what it is. Where is ACCH? There it is. And we'll go to chrome. So that's a little bit quicker way to get through all of this, because you're not going to remember what these things are. FF Tampa. And FF Tampa, that might be, is it it's either this or it's these. All right, so that first one is chrome. This one looks like it's just covered in some material. This one is chrome again, but no lettering. It's aluminum with the lettering. It looks like what you're going to get here. Yeah, so we should have, what, aluminum without the lettering? Yep. So you get aluminum, chrome, and paint. Lettering or not lettering is pretty much what you got. We don't have to worry about matching this because there isn't an FF Tampa on the other one because it's a flatbed. What else do we have? We've got box 1. And again, these are all labeled chrome. So that's fun. Okay, so this one is paint. And it's got a little logo on it. So it's paint all around. This one is paint with stainless doors. Stainless with paint doors. Stainless with stainless doors. All paint. How is that different from the first one? Doesn't look like it is. It slightly changes the hue of the blue there, and then you get that hue with the stainless doors. Probably they're going to invert now. Yep. So you get 2 different types of blue that look very similar to each other. Basically, do you want it all chrome? Do you want it blue? What kind of blue? That's pretty much what you're talking about. I don't know if there's another box, but let's say that we're going with this last one, 2 box D. Let's see if we can find another box. Or maybe, would it be on this side maybe? Maybe it's going to be over here. What if there's only one box? I find that hard to believe, because wouldn't you just put in box instead of box 1? Box 2, is box 2 here? Okay, I don't see box 2. Maybe you can only see it from a certain angle. Okay, so we're getting other ones here. It looks like the back of that trailer. Yeah, I can only see it from here unless there's another box right behind it. Maybe there was originally box 1 and box 2 and he got rid of one. Anyway, we're moving on. Tarafi, that's going to be, I believe, your reflectors. So number 2 is the reflectors. Number 3, you get it without reflectors and it looks like it's paint. And then this one that says paint is the same thing. It looks like 2 different options that give you no reflectors. It's hard to see. It resets. Yeah, it looks like the first and the third option, something small changes, and I can't tell what it is. Whenever I go to zoom in, it pops me right back out. So I don't know what they are because there's no description. So we're moving on. Tarafi, we already did. Box 1, Garfos. I think that might be these things. Let's take a look. In Chrome? It's something else. Or did we already cover this? Let's go to... Okay, it's definitely... I can't tell what's changing. I can't tell what's changing with Garfos. Is there another Garfos over here? Here's Garfos. Maybe it's easier to see on this one. I can't see what's changing. Can you guys? I'm sure you're just yelling at me in the comments. Something slightly something is changing. I can tell in the overall shot, but I don't know what it is. And it's not labeled, so. Support. You get one option. If you get rid of it, okay, that gets rid of... What was that? Okay. Support, that's all of your anchor points, all of your areas for the straps. Seta is the lights. And basically what we're talking about is the same types of lights, but is it going to be chrome or is it going to be a darker color behind it? Let's go ahead and zoom in for that a little bit. Yeah, so here's the lights. Here's option 1. Here's option 2. And that's going to put the paint behind it. That's going to leave paint and probably chrome behind that portion. And then aluminum behind that. And then I would imagine paint behind that. And then there's your option with all of it being chrome. I would imagine you might have some manual things too. So these are all just variations of chrome, aluminum, and paint. Are there any options where any of this is... doesn't look like you have any manual nodes on here. Okay, so those are the options that you get. TP1. TP is going to refer to the mud flaps. Something I would like to point out here. We have Chrome 1. Maybe that just means that is Chrome, but the mud flap itself isn't Chrome. We have one for Freightliner. It looks like all of these are staying Chrome, so this is kind of it's like his default icon. This, by the way, I'd like to point out, this is a Doepker trailer. You'll get it in Freightliner, International, Kenworth, Peterbilt, and then you will have the option to have Benson, Demco, Great Dane, Utility, and Wilson, which are other brands, and you don't actually get to an option to put Doepker on here, despite the fact that the other ones that come with that say Doepker. So that's a little weird to me. And again, it just seems like there were so many options put on here, and there was almost zero thought given to how to describe these and how to lay these out. And it's a little frustrating to get through. Sometimes I just pick out this trailer and I just leave it as is, so long as it has the right number of axles, and then I just kind of call it good. So let's go to here. Parallel. What is that? Okay, that's going to be this portion. I think we can back up a little bit, maybe. Zoom out. So this first one would be paint. Then we can get it in chrome. And let's see what else we have. got this one, which also looks like paint. Maybe is it a textured paint? Maybe it's, see that? It looks like it's textured as opposed to this first one. It looks, is it more glossy? No, it looks identical. Number 1 and 3 look identical. Here's chrome again, as opposed to number 2. Is something changing with this flap? Is that what it is? Okay, something small, very subtle, changed with that flap. So you can get the chrome without or without this thing. It's with or without. That one says Doepker.com. That's the difference between some of these. And then we go back and we get a different type of flap in the blue, and we'll get that same flap in chrome. So that is what that does. ASO 2, we've already done that. Let's get out of walking mode. These are just tires and rims. Let's see here. The back here, 2 parallel. And this is probably just going to change the different types of mud flaps. It changes some of the chrome on top of the mud flap as well. So small but subtle changes, no lettering at all. Different color of the mud flap altogether. I imagine we're going to see that one without lettering as well. Some of the lettering went away, all the lettering went away. So those are your options there. Supik. Not sure what changed. Is it the lights? Okay, just that centerpiece right there. We can go in there. That changes. Or, yeah, it changes from chrome to paint. So that's what that does. Might want to stay here. Garfos we've done. Support we've already done. Tarafi, we're keeping it with these reflectors. ACCH, we've already done that. We decided it was chrome. That's going to be, I think, the entire frame. SETA is the lights again, so we can make a match. They look more or less matched to what we have over there. P1. Now, P1 is going to be all of the fenders, I believe. Nope, mud flaps. P1, P2, P3 are mud flaps. TP1, TP2, and I think there's TP3. These should be your... No? I thought these were... See, it's just kind of points out that it's so hard when these things aren't labeled properly. All right, I'm going to get out of this mode. It's just too hard to move around. TP1. So the mud flap changes. And then it was TP1. P2. Let me click on one of these. Does that do fenders at all? No, it just does other mud flaps. So TP2 and P2. So if I go down here, change it to chrome. Okay, so we do have other options. It's a combination of mud flaps and fenders. And then some of these come in paint as well. And paint, I believe they come in paint with ribs and paint without ribs, I believe. Or maybe that was just his logging trailer. And so now you're back to the mud flaps. So you can do mud flaps and the fenders alone, mud flaps alone, and you'll have that option on every axis there. So that's what that is. And that will continue on for P3. Anything else I'm seeing at a different angle. Your different lights on the back. And a lot of what's going to change, the lights will change, but also the color behind it. So right now it's in paint. And then this one should be in, okay, it's a different type of paint with light nodes. I don't have his light pack. I've got a whole bunch of other light packs, but for some reason they're all grayed out, so they're not working. Okay, so that we have a different setup with the paint. Then we should have that same setup. Nope, we have a different setup with the paint. Chrome options should be coming. What are the difference between these two. Okay, so the center lights are different on those two options. There they go, back to the bigger ones. And then this is blue again with the nodes. I don't know what the difference is between that one and this one. Okay, you just have more lights all the way across. But I can't put those on anyway. Trailer rear support plate. So that area was all chrome. Now it looks like we've got some texture to it. Got a different texture to it. And yet a different texture. And then a different texture. And we'll see paint with the lettering on it. Chrome with the lettering on it. Did we do all of them? And what we started with was a little bit of the texture and the lettering on it, so you can decide which you like best. Parach. Okay, so it's going to be the shape of this, I would guess, or not the shape, but whether it's paint or aluminum or... See, at least, so this looks cool. See this? This looks different, so I'm thinking that I'm going to get chrome. Am I going to get paint with this? I do. So this is a good example. Even if you're not going to have a label, I can clearly tell what's going on, that I'm going to get the paint with the reflectors and the paint without any reflectors on the vertical. And then we'll go chrome with the vertical, so you can pick whatever you want there. This is a much better example just on that one node. If that could be done across the entire trailer, it wouldn't take nearly as long. You'd remember what the parts stand for, and you'd have a quick reference to what they are, especially when you're going to match them on multiple trailers. You always want it to make it look like it's matching, so the only way to really do it is, like I said, go to this one, ASO 1, come back, find your selection, go to ASO 2 and pick the same thing. Then you're not going to have to figure out what it is. So those are all of the build options. I'm going to take you through right now all of the different loads that come with it. If you want to see that, go ahead. Otherwise, you can fast forward. Timestamps are down in the description. All right, so let's take a look at all the different types of loads that we can get for this. First one is going to be air conditioning units. And we'll scroll through these, go through here a little quick. What is this going to be? More air conditioning units. So 3 different types of air conditioning units. That's pretty cool. Haven't seen that much detail on units like that. That's cool. We have aircraft engines. Looks like a lot of good texture and shadow and detail. That's cool. Almond boxes. Pretty cool. Aluminum ingots. Aluminum profiles. Just looks like bars. Backhoe loader. So with this one, does that mean there's going to be nothing on this one? Could be. Maybe you're running light. Big tires. Big tires again. Big bags of seeds. Boom lift. Bricks. That's cool. I haven't really seen that before. Bus hoods. Cables. Nice. Other cables. Cattle equipment. What is going on with all the colors? I don't know why everything is coming out like a rainbow. And what kind of cattle equipment? Is this just fences or gates? That one's a little weird. Cattle equipment, and again, this cattle equipment is also rainbow colored. And again, cattle equipment with rainbows. Circuit breakers, that's definitely unique. I like that. Clamshell bucket. Compact generators. Volvo compactor. Concrete barriers, nice. Concrete beams. Concrete stairs. There we go. Looked like it was kind of blacked out for a second. Concrete tubes. Other concrete tubes. Cotton lint. Dumpster. Rainbow colored electric dumpsters. Mini excavators. also in rainbow. I don't know if that's my computer or what's going on. Empty pallets, no rainbows. Fertilizer tanks. That's a different one. Forklifts. Generator set. Looks like some good detail there. Glass. Just glass. Glass racks. Makes sense. You got glass. You got to carry them on a rack. Hey. Mouse prefabs. Mouse. House prefabs. And I think other house prefabs. Lots of prefabs. Industrial pallets. Insulation panels. Man, there's a lot of loads on here. Iron pipes. Jet engine inlet cowl. Lumber. More lumber. Manitow teleloader. Is that the brand Manitow? I haven't heard of that. Metal beams. Metal coils. Mobile air compressors. Mooring bays. Moving containers. Oil pipes. More oil pipes. Olive trees. Cool. With rainbows. Oh, no. What's going on here? I don't know what this is. Or are those just supposed to protect one from the other or separate the two? Not sure. Outdoor floor tiles. Packed lumber. Pickups. Well, pick one pickup. And it's rainbow. Is that just something that's affecting the chrome? Plant substrate. Plastic pipes. Plows. Plywood. Man, there are a lot of loads on here. Power pack. Pressure tanks. More pressure tanks. Pump jack. Rails. Reservoir tank. Road roller. I think we're missing textures. I think that's what's going on. Is we're missing some textures. Road bucket Volvo. Roof shingles. Roofing felt. Rough terrain forklift. Scaffolding. Must have chrome on here somewhere. I don't know. I don't know why you'd have chrome on the scaffolding, but I think we're just missing some textures. Scaffolding in rainbow. More rainbow. These are all rainbow. Scrapped cars. Site dumper. Skid steer. More skid steers. Square tubing. Sunflower grain drills. Telescopic handler. Again. Tractor. Another tractor. Train axles. So some of these look like SCS stuff. So he's making it so that you can get the SCS loads with it. Trees. Ventilation shaft. Waste paper. Wheels with Volvo rims. Wind turbine tower. Yard truck. And that was the last one. Back to air conditioning units. So tons of different loads on there. But it's very clear what's going on here. In addition to coming through with all of the updated cargos, because everyone knows with trailers in 1.54 that you had to change everything around with your cargo. He's also inheriting some of the SCS default loads on there, which is always good because, I mean, this is how many he has. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy number of loads. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the updates for EMT Mods Peterbilt 359. It's not going to be real in-depth, but just a little bit before we take the drive on the truck that I have built. All right, so here we are. We're up in Redding, California, and we have the 359, and we have it in the day cab form. The skin, I found this on Steam. It's free. It's Gold Rush out of Sacramento, California, which is where we're heading. And this particular skin is by Sandman. So kind of a cool thing. Not a whole lot of skins for the 359 out there, so I thought I'd show this. And so I kind of just went with that green. It's not like color selector. You just kind of have to go with it. So I just turned everything green. Even did the lights in green, if you can see. Front lights up top, on the sides. I just went with green. Just went all in on it. I have what they call the day cab pipes on it. You can do it either just one, or you can do the duals. So this is day cab times 2. One of the other updates that I'm not showing here is the really thick 8-inch pipes. So those are a new feature for this truck. Some of the other things is you've got the coiled antennas, and I went ahead and put those on both sides, on the driver's side and passenger side. You can get them coiled standing straight up, coiled angled. I think you can even get them tilted back. Some of the other changes to it, and I'm not sure exactly why this was too necessary, but he went ahead and added a 10-speed. You could definitely get that taken care of. Most trucks just by default have a 10-speed, and if you're not, you can get the real Eaton Fuller mod, so you can get like 50 different versions of a 10-speed. Nonetheless, it was included by EMT Mods because someone in the group asked for it. Also has compatibility for Slav Jerry engines. All you really need to do is add the truck def name, so I'm not sure why exactly that was entirely necessary. 24-inch bumper, and that's what we're showing here. I went ahead and put the lights and the California license plate, since that is where we are today. And apart from that, we have some additional things on the inside. We'll go ahead and go in there, and we see that we have lights up there, and we also have lights back there, those watermelons. You pick those, and you pick these separate. You can make them two different colors. I made them the same color. What color do you suppose I went with? Probably green. So some additional work was done to the mirror. Great visibility with the mirrors, which I think was changed up a little bit. For sure, an improvement, and this is looking like a great 359. Something else was changed. I'm not sure, I'm not familiar what it means, but it just says day cab view. I don't know what that means. If anyone else does, let me know. And then the last thing on there that I see is suspension. Does it have a suspension on it, or was it improved? Is it like one of those where the suspension is separate from the actual frame as opposed to the cab? I'm not sure exactly how that what they mean by that. But anyway, those are some of the just a quick and dirty look at the updates for EMT. I went ahead and went with the low smoke on this one to match the pipes, and it looks like it's very possible that I only put smoke on one of them. Because here's the thing: sometimes if you have certain exhaust on there, it'll light up a red node at the top, letting you know that you can add different things to it. Smoke is one of them, and there's like 4 different types of smoke. And then what happens is, if you change to another one, sometimes the node doesn't stay there. So you just have to go back to the previous one where you had the nodes, assign the smoke that you want, and then go back to that new one, and then you'll be fine. I have kind of a wet kit going on the deck here. Went with the painted fenders. I think this is the only version of actual painted fender on it. I would like to see more options. Maybe one that's a little bit more like industrial, maybe a full one. Oh, there is one other one, and it's individual. They're rounded for each of the different axles. And that's pretty much what we're running today. Only orange lights we have right there by the air filter. But pretty cool little skin, and we're rocking the day cab, since this is like the more stuff was done for the day cab than anything else on this. Alright, we've got a load on here. We've got the fast tracks. We've got 2 of them. We're loaded up in Sacramento, and I believe we are headed to, I think it's South Lake Tahoe. Yeah, South Lake Tahoe, with 2 of the fast track 4220s, 41,000 pounds, picking up at Robert Mondavi Winery, dropping off at Liebherr. 6.5 hours. We'll probably skip through some of that. So let's go ahead and get in. I'll tell you a little bit about the transmission as we're going. The engine is Zeemods 3406B. Try to keep it period. And for those of you that don't know, we've got the Zeemods audio framework going. Turn on the seatbelt, or put on the seatbelt. Got that clicked in. Get our headlights 4 ways. Parking brake is released. Let's go ahead and get some track IR going on. And basically what we have, if you look at the camera on the right hand side, green stick is going to be my auxiliary. It's a 3-speed auxiliary, under, direct, and over. And this is a 15-speed. You I said that correctly. It is a 15 speed, and I'm going to shift it exactly like a 15 speed. And I've seen some people on YouTube that have this set up. There we go. And basically, the truck that they have came factory with a 15 speed. They want more gears, so they throw in an additional 3-speed auxiliary. Windows are a little dark. And that was kind of an issue before. I was hoping that the tint was fixed a little bit, but it's a little dark. Okay, we'll go ahead and get the 4-ways off, turn right. And we gotta reframe everything. There we go. Everything's crooked. And basically, I'm just gonna shift this just like I would with a 15 speed. I'm gonna use the range selector, and I'm going to use the splitter in the low end if I need to get into the deep reduction gears, into the low gears. Only for nearly every gear I have 3 different options because of the 3-speed auxiliary. And it really does help a whole lot. It helps when you're heavy. It helps when you're on hills. It really does quite a bit. We're going downhill, so we're not really going through much of them. And we only have 45,000 pounds. I wanted to find something a little heavier maybe. So you can hear the Jake on that 3406B. We can always slow it down, drop it in at direct. I'll leave this up so you can see what gear I'm in. Let's get that first stage going. We're just going to keep a little bit slower so we can come to a stop. Yeah, so for the most part, I am shifting it more or less just like a 15 speed, where I've got the five deep reduction gears. Can't really see around the mirror. The 10 highway gears, and I'm just like I'm shifting now. And once I get into the higher gears, I'll really start to use a lot of the direct and over, just like here. And sometimes if I hit a hill and direct, I'll go to over, or I'll go to under. Oop, wrong way. It is really, really dark. Man. Oh, we didn't change the time. We're going to be... This is an all-night drive. Damn. Okay. Well, that's okay. Something else to show you, because the lighting in here is pretty cool, as you can see. You gonna let me go? Okay. We'll start out and run through them on the auxiliary. Really get that green feel in here. One more problem that is still happening, EMT Mods does know it, people have reported it since the update, is that the tach still doesn't work. I mean, it moves, but it's incorrect. I'm at 1400 RPMs and it's showing 2100. Maybe it's... I don't know if it's stuck like that or what, but it is absolutely incorrect. And the other thing that I wish was fixed was some lighter tinting. There's a couple other people lately who have come through with some tint, and it just, like, you can't drive them at night. So maybe I'll just go ahead and leave the windows down. Luckily the 3406B isn't a really rough and aggressive engine. We turn in here. Yeah. We really get to see those green lights pop on it now. And I did put beacons on the back of the truck as well. One in each of the corners. But yeah, this thing is lit up with green. It looks pretty good. We'll go ahead and get those off now. I guess just a stop sign, right? Good sound. Good sounds from Zeemods audio framework. Let's see if we can kick the wipers up and get more of more coverage. Those blades stop and they don't cover the full view, unfortunately. Oop. It really does make a difference being able to go between this direct and over, more than you would think. But you're basically just using the auxiliary to fine-tune it, because you've already got plenty of gears, even if you just had a 15 speed. But if you can kind of finesse it, keep it at the proper RPM, better for the engine and the transmission. So man, we picked a night drive and we got a storm. See the green coming off from all the lights inside, that's kind of cool. And it really helps to get a little bit more out of it, especially because we only have a 425 horsepower. And I mean, it's not like super under power at all, but I normally would want a little bit heavier, or a little bit bigger of an engine. Oh, I keep thinking it's an RTO, and it's not. It's an RT, basic 8-shift pattern. It's hard to see what's coming up ahead. See what those do. Probably gonna blind some people. Oh, or we could just get some flash, some thunder, or lightning. But yeah, at least we can see the basic shape of the road now. So yeah, like I said, I saw someone else on YouTube. They had a factory 15 speed, and they ended up putting a 4-speed auxiliary in it. And I saw another guy who had a factory 10 speed, and he put a 4-speed in there. So that's that second one that's giving you 40 different gears. This one actually has 35, and the reason why you would think 15 speed times 3 auxiliary, it should have 45 gears, and the reason why it doesn't is because I decided not to assign the auxiliary to the 5 low gears, the 5 deep reduction gears. So you get those 5 gears, the deep reduction, and then you get the 10 highway gears go through the 3-speed auxiliary, giving you 30 additional. So 30, is that right? 30, yeah. So 30 plus the 5 deep reduction is 35. So that is basically what we're working with here. 35 speed, and it doesn't feel like there's too many gears. I thought it was going to feel like that also when I first got into 6.4, Spicer 6.4, and it's really not, because you're just using that auxiliary to fine tune. There's no real like wrong way to do it. Run your primary transmission, and where you need a little bit of help, fine tune it to go up or down. So like I like to keep it right here in direct. That way, if I need a little bit more, I can go to under, and if I'm a little bit too hot on it, in like 17, 1800 RPMs, then I'll just shift down. Find it. It's also kind of nice making those small changes as you're making quick, like sharp turns like that where you're not going very fast. Keeps your momentum going. Maybe we'll just take the whole one here. Good visibility out those mirrors. And we're stopping. That's what we needed, was a train. Didn't have enough stops. Sacramento and San Francisco take the 80. We are coming out. We're actually going, yeah, we're going to South Lake Tahoe. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and skip over some of this drive because it is at night. I really just wanted you to be able to see what was going on. And it's kind of hard to see what's going on with the trailer. I really could have swore that I think I just spent too much time talking, so that time kept passing, and then all of a sudden when I picked up the job, starting in the middle of the night. So there's 3 varieties of 9th gear using the 3-speed aux, and it helps a lot. Use it the same way going down. Keep tempting to look at the tack on the truck. Don't do that. It doesn't work. And we're going to have to get over, according to that sign. I think. Yep. I hate when it does that. It says to go off to the right, so your tendency is to want to get to the right. And we'll stop it right there. We're already speeding. Already lose a little bit more traction because of the rain, and we're on a whole bunch of curves, so we'll just chill a little bit. So I tell you what, for this one we're going to go ahead and start off in deep reduction. I'm in the low range, and then splitter forward will put you in the deep range. We'll start off in 3rd. We'll go low, since it's only coded for low. Oh, it's reading the wrong one. Sometimes that slot reads 1. That's enough of a good start, so we'll take it out of deep reduction, back to 3 in highway. Skip 1 in the aux. Right on the shift. Man. Is it not raining anymore? Pull up to the line here. Alright, well, we've seen pretty much what we can. I could just deliver late and change the time of the day. I wonder if they'll let me do that. There we go. So we're obviously going to be missing the delivery here, but now we can see what we've built, what we put together. Went with the 3-stripe option across both trailers. Went with the 3 axles on each trailer. Kept it pretty minimal in terms of mud flaps because, like, if I want to be able to do all those, I want to be able to do the existing ones too, and I wasn't given any more option to actually add Doepker to the other ones. Those options where it was P1, P2. Doesn't make sense to put another brand of a trailer on mixing it and matching it with Doepker. And adding this auxiliary really does make it a lot more smooth. Especially on uphills like here. And I'm having more of an issue with it detecting the gears than I am shifting, which sounds like a little bit of an excuse, but that's what's happening. So it's not detecting that I'm coming out of gear on the auxiliary. That's what's happening. And so if I'm not coming out of gear, it's not allowing me to rev match and go into the next one. Maybe I'll have to make it a little bit more intentional. Maybe that is my fault, but that's definitely what's going on. Because I'm out of gear and it says that I'm in it. Why won't it get... Oh, that was a bad shift. It was going the wrong way. In my mind, I was going to 7th, and 7th and an 18 speed is upper right. As I'm telling you what the problem is, and it's not my fault. Those are. That always happens. Always happens. Never fails when I'm doing one of these videos. If I sit here and don't talk because I'm just doing my own video, never happens. There we go. A little bit more intentional with that one. It recognized I came out of gear, so I was able to rev match it. Now we're moving. Usually it's that smooth. So we're coming into a downhill. So I think we'll just leave it right here, see what happens. Because we only got 55 miles an hour on the speed limit. Yeah, I'm liking this 359. Again, it's not the FLX. If you think about it like it's just a different truck, then I think a lot of people would appreciate it. It has tons of options inside and out. It really does. Looks like it's not that steep. I'm gonna go ahead and take 10 direct. As the sign just says, watch downhill speed. Jake's pretty strong in this 3406B though. See, even just letting off the gas, it's not a big grade, probably a 2% grade or something. And I'm not that heavy. Only 45,000 pounds, I think it was. Maybe less. That 35 came up real fast. I just didn't rev high enough. And we're still not, we're almost coming out of the 35 zone and we're barely there. Oh, come on. When on a downhill like that, you don't give someone a warning around the corner. Oh, by the way, you can drop from 55 to 35. That's impossible. With that amount of space, you would maybe be able to drop realistically like 5, unless you were trying to stand her up on the nose. That's a little bit unrealistic for ATS. But again, it comes to that compression. It would still be nice if it didn't compress it so much and make you do unrealistic slowdowns, especially on a downhill. GPS is in the way a little bit. Yeah, so what do you guys think of these, this 35 speed? A 15 speed plus a 3-speed aux. Something you guys would be interested in, or is it just? It's not completely fictional. Other people have done it. I've seen it on YouTube, but it's not like an everyday thing. I like it, to be honest with you. I say give me more gears. Give me as many gears as you can. I'm not intimidated by it. because they're just more options. So I'm going uphill. I don't have that powerful of an engine. And it's nice to be able to have 3 versions of 8. Slowing down, I might be going into low or under here pretty quick. If I can rev that high, I think we're just going to take a whole one next. Are we slowing down up ahead? Guess we can quiet it and get the windows. There we go. Yeah, this guy's going slower than I am, which is going to slow us all down. Just going to keep it right here, 7 under. Until I can. Oh, this is painful. This is painful. Like, with a lower horsepower engine, I really am suffering from not being able to have enough momentum. Down to 3rd. I haven't had one of these in quite a while that have been going this slow. Get her look around that GPS there. And here's the slowdown. Do we have enough momentum to get in front of them? It would be great if we could pass them. Is ATS going to give us enough room? They already want us to merge. I'm just going to keep it right here. Oh man, they're not going to let us. I'm not going to get enough. There we go. So we got by him, and now we're not doing much better ourselves. I feel like it just got steeper. But he's still way far back there. So we're doing a little bit better by pulling out in front of him. This is just brutal. Look, and that's just going from under to direct in the auxiliary. You lose like everything. See if we can get some momentum back though. Have to really let it spool up to like 1900, almost 2000 RPMs. See if we can get it. And that wasn't enough. This is brutal, man. This is brutal. I don't even see where they are. Oh, they're right there. They're still getting held up. And I'm running out of fuel. That's spectacular. So it's not making much of a difference here. I do have a 3.7 differential as well. So I'm up to 2,000 RPMs, and then I shift, and I'm at 1,300 RPMs. That's how big this hill is going through here. So this is all, I would imagine, part of the Sierra Nevada portion of Reforma, featuring South Lake Tahoe, if you guys haven't seen it before. Oh, don't worry, we're not going to be going above 25. I promise that. I haven't seen 20 miles an hour in a few miles now. Cool view, though. Looking down the mountain. See if we can break 20 miles an hour. Can it be done? Last time we couldn't because we had the wrong type of transmission in. And this time we can't because we're basically going straight uphill. It feels like a 6% grade or something. Don't tell me he was speeding. Man, this is brutal. This is absolutely brutal. Anyone been up this road? The path from Sacramento to South Lake Tahoe? Is the road really like this? Feels like I'm just burning the transmission out. Let's go. Let's get a little bit more momentum. 17 miles an hour. There we go. We are out of fuel. And that's all she wrote, folks. We'll just go ahead and stop. And we'll continue up to the drop-off point, which, honestly, well, we were right around the corner. To do all of that and just be that much short, that's kind of frustrating. But we will get in here, I'm sure, on time, not like 2 days late. All right, go figure, I'm late. Let's see by how late. Like a day and a half? Okay, so that was pointless. It was an absolutely pointless job. And I had to drop 2 other jobs trying to figure out how to get cargo on that Brian Modmaker trailer, which again is unusual. It's I've had 4 other drives where I was able to see the cargo just fine. It was only in that spot with that cargo that I was running into that problem. But you know what? That's what videos are for. That's when everything goes to hell. Anyway, thanks for coming along. I hope you enjoyed the walk around, the updates to the 359, all the options on Brian Modmaker's Doepker B-Train drop deck, and whatever enjoyment or mild entertainment you could get out of that frustrating drive up that hill. But cool to be rocking the 15.3. I've been driving it pretty much today and yesterday. Yeah, wasn't driving anything else, which is odd for me. I'm usually switching up between different transmissions all the time, different trucks, and I pretty much have been driving this transmission, and I like it. This is probably the rare exception that I wish I had like a 700 horsepower engine to get up that hill. But besides that, like on the flat ground, it was working just fine. Nice to be able to have all those other options, especially once you get up into like 8th, 9th, and 10th. It goes so much smoother. And I was able to get... I was carrying, what was it, another load on another trailer. I was carrying 64,000 pounds, and with 425 horsepower, I was able to get up to 65. Maybe if you want to be able to go a little faster, yeah, maybe. Oh, and that was with a 3.9 differential too. So the hill is really what killed us on the momentum today. Anyway, thanks for coming along. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing, hitting that notification bell so you can see all my videos. And I will see you guys on the next time. And don't forget to enter the contest. Add in Trailstar down below in the comments for a chance to win Southern Skinning's trailer coming up in the video on Sunday. You guys take care.